Womp, a car out of Womp. I pray this devil die and get every evil thing the Lord got to give. And listen, I know you look at us in the state we in right now. Come your SHALAM. Come your SHALAM. I know you look at us in the state we in right now, black people on drugs, and we suffering and dying. And I know it seems like you can do whatever you want to this people. I know it seems like this, but the time for glorifying yourself is soon at an end.
Shalom. Y'all by Shimmy Al-Shah, your brothers, y'all Shamal by Shimmy Al-Shah, sisters, prison officer, not the Zak Najah, not the Zak Nishah, state of Virginia, here down in Norfolk. I want to talk today about different things. The Lord topic I want to bring out is about veterans, and blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in America's military. You understand? The driving force, doing the grunt, fighting all of America's wars, helped America win the war against the Germans, the World War, the Navajo Code Talkers, the Tuskegee experiments for the brothers fighting alongside of America. Well famous, the Red Tails, Buffalo Soldiers, you understand, the White Sticks, the Native Americans who fought alongside the colonists to help defeat the traditional Native Americans who did not want to be colonized and live a life as a Christian, serving their slave master who murdered and stole the land to make the United States. We've always had these different things that has happened. And the Lord, if you were black, Hispanic, and Native American, the Lord does not want you to be a part. Rather, you are forbidden from joining another nation's military or government. You're absolutely forbidden from doing so. And by doing this, the Lord is allowing our people to see just how America rewards its veterans. All right? America has been absolutely cruel to black, Hispanic, and Native American veterans. It is historically known for these things. Most of the, if not a huge percentage of the brothers and sisters who are homeless in your city or state, a lot of these brothers and sisters are homeless veterans. They went to the Army, went to the military, went to Marines, and many of them are people who actually saw combat duty, actually did tours of duty in combat, and while fighting for America, get back home and can't get your medicine, dying on a waiting list in the VA, waiting to get your medicine, waiting to be seen by a doctor, traumatic injuries, all kind of things and problems that come from our people serving America, being a part of this empire that the Lord has forbidden us from being. So what we want to do right now, we want to take a look at scriptures and see what the Lord is saying. How do you feel about this? Read this article right here, Officer Malak, and just read the title of that article, and then some of those names and what I got highlighted right there in that second paragraph. All right.
A Mexican native, Perez 41.
Just read the title.
Deported U.S. veterans feel abandoned by the country they defended.
These are U.S. veterans. These brothers feel abandoned by the country that they defended. Imagine you putting your life on the line to go fight ISIS and Al-Qaeda and the Taliban or Hitler or some evil force that the world has been taught to look at as so horrible and evil. They killing their own people, they bombing, they harming innocent people and families, just absolute wreaking havoc in the world. And you sign up to go and defend America, defend everything you love, and you thinking about the Super Bowl in Hollywood and Las Vegas and New York City and Chicago and Sears Tower in Washington, D.C., and Philadelphia and Miami, all of the wonderful things that everybody sees and thinks of when they come to America. The land of the free, the home of the brave, and you go and you take and you put that into your spirit to go now and fight against the enemies of America. And after you put your life on the line and you get hurt and injured and lose an arm, lose a leg, lose a son or daughter, end up losing your life or go crazy from what you've seen in war, because war is a very traumatic experience, you understand? And now you come back to America after defending and fighting abroad just for Uncle Sam, your slave master, to tell you, we don't want you here in this country anymore. Like, that is what they do to Hispanic brothers and sisters, man. That's what they've been doing. That's what they're doing now. We get in this article. The Lord wants you to realize that going to the white man's military is not an option for you. You understand? The military and the army for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is the I.S.U.P.K.
That's right.
None of the problems that you have for your people in whatever country that you come from, if you are one of these 12 tribes, none of them will be fixed by you joining the military of America or joining the military of another nation of people, wherever you are. You need to turn back. Our people need to learn to turn back and serve and obey the Most High. That is the only way to turn back these curses and punishments that is on our people, which we don't realize because the Christian church has absolutely failed to teach us about real life, about what the Bible says, about God's commandments and the severity of disobeying the Lord, while they're telling you God is on everybody's side no matter what all the time. That is getting our people gravely injured and putting us in danger. So keep reading, please.
A Mexican native, Perez,
Go ahead.
41.
This brother's a Mexican native. He's a brother of the tribe of Issachar. The tribe of Issachar, the so-called Mexicans, very well-known warriors, man. Warrior spirit all through Afghanistan and Iraq, fighting all of the enemies of our slave master. Meanwhile, he come back home just to be discarded like a bag of trash.
Right.
You understand? Like a damn diaper genie. Filled of used diapers or old tennis shoes. They just throw you away after you got blown up fighting the damn Taliban in Iraq and Afghanistan.
That's right.
Keep going.
Grew up in Chicago.
Grew up where?
In Chicago.
I mean, he was raised in Chicago. He didn't grow up in Mexico. He came here to America. He was raised in Chicago. He went to American school systems. He fully immersed himself in this American culture, which seems like the right thing to do if you coming from Mexico or El Salvador or Guatemala, Dominican Republic, or Haiti, or Puerto Rico, or Brazil, or Panama. It seems like that's what you should do. That's what black people have been trying to immerse ourselves in this American culture. And how does America repay its veterans? Keep going.
And he enlisted in the military and served 2 tours in Afghanistan.
2 tours in Afghanistan. I remember when the Wounded Warrior program started in Walter Reed, was there. Remember that. And all of the brothers and sisters that would come back after some Humvee exploded, after they took RPG fire from the mountains of Afghanistan, choppers being shot down, brothers and sisters 19 and 20 years old losing arms, losing legs, an explosion goes off and the brain matter in your brain gets fried and scrambled to where you can never function properly in society normally ever again. All so that you can get an opportunity to go to goddamn school so you can have some money to pay for books and tuition. Like, this is what our people risk their lives for in this society. And if you get in the I.S.U.P.K. to build up your nation, you won't have to put your very soul in the hands of your slave master so that you can have a future and risk being killed fighting his enemies while he is your enemy, gonna throw you out the country.
Right.
Keep going.
When he returned home, he struggled with post-traumatic stress disorder.
The brother that went to war, he was seeing people getting blown up, people getting killed, tons of horrible things, which is what war is. He's seen this, and now he has a hard time coping, just like many brothers and sisters. They didn't want to acknowledge that PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, they didn't want to acknowledge that it existed because they didn't want to have to pay soldiers or airmen or seamen or Marines or sailors. They didn't want to have to pay brothers and sisters saying that you sent me to war and you damaged me. And I can't function regular in life anymore because of what I suffered fighting and defending you. And they didn't want to act like it was a real thing. So this brother goes to war, gets damaged badly, sent back and just dumped into society, like in the movie Rambo. You understand? Of course, that was a movie, but you send him out to go and fight your war, you bring him back, you have absolutely nothing for him. That's how brothers and sisters end up homeless, man. You come into the I.S.U.P.K, Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you need counseling. You need counseling, not full of opioids and heroin and weed and Percocets. You need spiritual counseling from the men that the Lord set up. You understand, in the I.S.U.P.K. Our people have went everywhere else except to go to who the Lord appointed, which is why we never get our problems fixed, man. Keep going.
Or PTSD.
Keep going.
Those struggles, so like it's like, yeah,
Keep going.
Led to a drug-related conviction.
Now, because you in these horrible nightmares, life is so horrible, and this is what happened to brothers and sisters in the ghetto. Brothers and sisters in the hood, you see your best friend get killed, you going to school, people getting killed, you see your neighbors get shot, your uncle and mother and cousins is getting shot, the police is killing you, everybody dying. Every week, some murder in Newport News, 3-4 stabbing murders in Chesapeake and Portsmouth and Norfolk. You see these horrible, traumatic things all around you constantly. And then what our people do, because the Christian church has failed to teach our people how to turn to the Lord, is our people turn to Satan. And this kingdom of America is Satan's kingdom. It is the kingdom, it is the chief seat of the devil, which is the devil that the Bible speaks of, our slave master, our oppressor, you understand. Right. This is his kingdom. Every evil thing on the earth, you in America's military, police forces, government, you fight and uphold and swore an oath to do and represent every evil thing that the so-called white man does and promotes on this entire planet. Right. Every bombing, every war, every coup, every murder of every leaders, all of the poisoning and chemical and germ warfare and predator drones and drug cartels and mujahideen and terrorist groups that form after deals go sour with America's government and they end up forming and becoming some radical group killing everybody. All of these things happen because of America. All of the civil wars in Central and South America, the United States started these things. That created your MS-13s and your drug cartels and your Cuban and Colombian cartels. That created the very drug gangs that's in your neighborhood and your community. All of this was orchestrated government planning. And when you join in the slave master's military and his government, you are fighting to uphold this evil empire that the Lord is against. You understand? The Lord is against the United States of America for all of the evil that it has done across the earth. And you have joined your hand with them, and as a result, we end up suffering this, man. Keep going.
While there, so like the conviction that landed him in a state prison for 7 years.
Brother ended up doing 7 years in prison after he get out the military. He gets blown up, his brain is damaged, he turns to drugs, he can't cope, which is a very common story and theme here amongst our people. Keep going.
While there, he received treatment for his condition.
For the first time, he started to get treatment. Then what happens to him? Keep going.
Both therapy and medication.
That's right. Keep going.
But that conviction also triggered deportation proceedings. After a year in an immigrant detention center,
he gets out of jail. Then he get help that he needed after you done damaged him in Afghanistan fighting for your wars. Then you take and you throw him in jail again. Right. As he starts to get better, as life starts to turn around for him, after you ruined him and then threw him back in the damn country with nothing to do, then he starts to get better, you throw him back in jail. Keep going.
Perez was deported to Matamoros, Mexico.
This brother gets thrown out the damn country. You done damaged him, you sent him to war, his brain is destroyed, you done got him hooked on drugs, he finally get help, then you take him and throw him back in jail and throw him out the country, man. America is evil and cruel to its veterans. Right. And if you are a veteran in America, you know how firsthand how cruel America is to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If you in America's military somewhere, you need to get in the I.S.U.P.K, man. Right. You need to come in here and learn how to help and fix our people. You understand? Being in Afghanistan and Iraq won't fix the problems of homeless Black and Hispanic veterans in America. It won't get us off of crack and heroin, off of Percocets and Mollies. It won't get us off of all the military sexual trauma from all of the damn molesting and raping superior officers that goes on in ridiculous numbers, mostly unreported in America's militaries. It won't stop the police from murdering us, like Christopher Dorner, who was a veteran, like Walter Scott, who was murdered by Michael Slagan, South Carolina, for a stupid child support warrant that he tried to murder the brother and throw a gun and say he reached for my gun, but didn't know the brother was filming him in the bushes. Like Trayvon Martin's father, who had his Black son murdered for being in the white man's gated community. We are not to join this place. That's right. Give me Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. That's all I wanted on that article. The water, brother. Give me Micah chapter 2 verse 10 real quick, Officer Raj. And you give me the first scripture I got lined up for you. We're going to do Micah 2 and 10 first. Our people need to understand this. America is not built for our people. Right. And we're not telling you to go out and commit any violence against anybody. That's silly. We ain't doing that in the I.S.U.P.K. Neither are we advocating for you to go and do violence in the I.S.U.P.K. Right. We're not telling you to go and commit any crime. You in that military, you got to deal with your time. That's no sweat, man. But understand this. What you are doing is you are in slavery for your oppressor. It's not our founding fathers. It's not my country, 'tis of thee. America has never accepted Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics. America has no will and ever accept our people as one of them. America is built for our slave masters, that's right, our oppressors, the pilgrims, the colonists, the right-wing and left-wing conservatives, the Jesuits. That is who it's built for, you understand? The Trumps, the Clintons, you understand? The Rodhams, the Kennedys. It isn't built for the Marias and the Jorges and the Perezes and the Hernandez and Sanchez and Johnson and Jenkins. It's not built for us. We will never be a part of it, you understand? It exists solely to eat our people alive. And that's what's happening, you understand? Keep going. Give me that scripture you got.
Micah chapter 2, verse 10. And rise ye and depart.
The Lord is saying to rise and depart. This is not saying get a passport and flee the country and go run back to Africa. We were in Africa. And in Africa, the Africans fought us and sold us into slavery. We're not to join any other people. You are supposed to join your nation and be trained on what you are supposed to do to fix and build your people. Right. You understand? It may not be your fault that it happened, but it is your responsibility to do work to fix it. Right. And that can only be done by building up your nation, your government, and the military to deal with the problems of your people, which is only in the I.S.U.P.K. Keep going.
Because, it's like, for this is not your rest.
This is not your rest. This isn't when you come to be accepted and be loved and be a part of it. That's not what America is for. This place is our captivity. This is prison for us. We are serving out a sentence that the Most High gave us under a cruel and evil oppressor. We're not supposed to join him and be friends with him and take his culture and wear his colors and fly his flags and stand and pledge allegiance to him. All of that is against the Most High. And when we do that, it has the Lord to turn against our people, and then we lose our lives, man. Then our babies get put in dog cages. Think of all the Hispanic veterans that have fought for America and how they treat Hispanics, putting them in dog cages. Right. Imagine you go to an elementary school, it's just babies. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and they got jails across America that's just filled with Hispanic babies. Right. This is how America repays our people. They throw us out the damn country, put us in dog cages. Take notice of this. The Lord said this is not our rest. Keep going.
Because it is polluted.
It's polluted, man. The love you have for America, this is an evil place. Fighting for pedophiles to get rights to molest children, man. Right. Fighting for a man that be able to have sex with another man. A woman to have sex with another woman. Now you can have sex with your dog.
Right.
They got you having sex with animals. This is what you defending.
Right.
This is the colors and the flag that you fly. Where unarmed blacks and Hispanics get gunned down by racist police officers, and the city and state government officials say that they ain't done nothing wrong.
Right.
You murdered an unarmed black man in his drawers in Dallas, Texas, and Amber Geiger gets a hug from the judge in 10 years. You murder a Hispanic baby on the border, you blow a damn child's brains out, you get no jail time because she's from Guatemala or El Salvador or Mexico. You should never love this place, man.
That's right.
Loving America is going to destroy you.
That's right.
It's going to teach your son to wear a dress and be a homosexual until he dies of AIDS.
That's right.
It's going to turn your daughter into a murderer and tell her to abort your grandbabies until she dies of breast or uterine cancer.
Right.
Or depression from being a murderer after you convinced her to kill her damn baby.
That's right.
Like, this place ruins our people. Keep going.
It shall destroy you,
Uh-huh.
even with a sword destruction.
This is sword destruction, man. Imagine you growing up as a kid wanting to be a superhero, wanting to be a war man, wanting to be a hero like you see it in America, and you go in America's military and navy, and you think you're doing the right thing, fighting for America, and you get pulled over as a veteran and went to war, and America's police department guns you down at a traffic stop, kills your son, kills your mother in her home, shoots her through the damn door when they get a wellness check. Like, this is what happens to our people. And blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you had better stop ignoring what our slave master does to us.
Right.
You better start to take these things personal before it's your son in a dog cage.
That's right.
You understand? This individual salvation, I got mine, you get yours, this selfish Christian nonsense that we've been taught of individuality, no other nation of people does this. This was taught to us by Christian preachers, and it has ruined us. You understand? Any more on that?
Nah.
All right, that's it. Go ahead and drop that. Give me the scripture that you got, Malak.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31.
Uh-huh.
Envy thou, not the oppressor.
The Lord said, don't envy your oppressor. Don't envy, meaning don't see what he has and look and say, I want to be just like him. I want to be a Marine. I want to be in the Army or Green Beret. Like that brother David Johnson, man. They sent him over there in some special mission with a team of white men. And then they get into a shootout with ISIS and the Taliban. And then they kill and murder this brother. After the rest of his unit abandoned him, they called for air support for assistance. The damn French refused to send in assistance. This brother get killed, get kidnapped, find his body later, bits and pieces of him. Every damn week they finding pieces of his brother. Then disgusting Donald Trump tells his widow he knew what the hell he signed up for at the damn funeral. Got up burying an empty casket. They find some bone, some foot, some finger every damn week of this brother's body that these Arabs had tortured out of him before they murdered this brother. And now here we are saluting the flag. My country, 'tis of thee.
Right.
It's disgusting.
That's
And
right.
it's disgusting to the Lord, and it should be disgusting to you.
Right.
It should be so disgusting that you call and you find out what you can do to build up your people.
That's right.
You understand? The evil that happens in the black community only continues because everyone knows how evil and what's going on, and nobody cares enough to make sure that they do their part to stop it. That's what happens in the black community. That's how the R. Kellys become famous. That's how the Eddie Longs are allowed to continue. That's how the Popes are allowed to continue. That's how every evil and wicked thing is allowed to flourish in the black, Hispanic, and Native American community, because you never do your part to make it stop.
That's right.
You never put forth your hands to see that this evil ends.
Right.
How do you do that? You get in the I.S.U.P.K. There's a school in your city.
Right.
There's a school in your state. There's a school in your country. You find that listing and you call in to see what you can do to help fix your people. You understand? Any more on that? Damn right. Damn right.
Choose none of his ways.
Don't choose any of his ways. Not his military, his police force. You want to be an officer for the community, you get in the UPK and be an officer.
That's
You
right.
understand? You can't be an officer to fix black people if the job that you have is to make sure that blacks and Hispanics
end up mass incarcerated in America.
Right.
That's how the criminal justice system works. That's how you get new trucks and new Tahoes and new funding and new budget and new guns. You have to lock people up. America's not trying to lock up white men. They're not putting their own sons and daughters in prison. They're putting your sons and daughters in jail.
That's right.
You understand? And in order for you to fix your family, you're going to have to realize that it's people preying on your family.
Right.
You understand? You're supposed to be a strong man. You're supposed to be a soldier, but you're not supposed to be a soldier for your slave master.
That's right.
You're supposed to be a soldier for your brother,
That's right.
for your sister,
Right.
for your elders, you understand? For your people, your generations, just like every other people does. You've been educated that it's wrong to only love your people,
That's right.
while every other race of people only loves their people. Time for you to wake up out of this lie, man.
That's right.
You got any more on that?
Nah, sir.
Give me the next scripture I got you there.
1 Ezra, chapter 8.
You
Verse
give me 2
84.
Samuel chapter 10 and verse 12. Read first Ezra. Go ahead.
1 Ezra, chapter 8, verse 84.
Mhm.
Therefore now shall ye not join your daughter unto their sons.
You're not supposed to join your black daughters unto their sons, man.
That's right.
I'm never going to stop talking about this story, man.
Right.
This young sister, a baby, 19 years old, Private First Class Lavina Johnson, went to the United States Army, and they put her in some damn tent with a bunch of men, and these men raped this sister, tortured this sister, burned her genitals, put acid on her fingers,
Right.
set the tent on fire, and then tried to say she committed suicide with an 18.5-inch rifle barrel that she supposedly stuck in her mouth and killed herself. You understand? Some 5'3", 5'4" sister took an 18.5-inch rifle and killed herself, committed suicide, after burning her hands and her genitals and burning her tent down.
That's right.
The Lord said, don't you join your black, Hispanic, or Native American daughters to the sons of your slave masters. Martin Luther King taught you could do that. God said you better never do it.
That's right.
You putting your sons and daughters' lives at risk, giving them to the care and the ward of your slave master.
Right.
You better stop sending your sons and daughters into America's military, man.
That's
You
right.
better stop that.
That's right.
The Lord is against you for it.
Right.
The Lord gonna hurt your children for this. It's a warning from a prophet of God. You better stop going into this white man's military, man.
Right.
The Lord can bring America into thermonuclear war.
That's right.
They going to war in Iraq,
Right.
in Afghanistan, and in
That's right.
Syria, and in
Right.
Turkey.
Right.
You understand? They going to war in Iran and Iraq. They going to war. The Lord gonna make them go to war. You better stop sending your children to fight for your slave master.
That's right.
The Lord will be against you for it. Keep going.
Neither shall ye take their daughters unto your sons.
You're not supposed to have interracial marriages, interracial couples. You're not supposed to take the culture of another nation of people. You are commanded to be holy,
Right.
which
Right.
means separate.
That's
You're not supposed to take on the Muslims' culture and join them, America's culture and go vote, Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, homosexuality and getting high. You're not supposed to take on the culture of another people.
That's right.
The Lord forbids that, man. Any more on that? Keep going.
Verse 85. Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them.
What did the Lord say?
Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them.
If only the Native Americans knew to never seek to have peace with pale face that speaks with forked tongue.
Right.
You can really celebrate this disgusting Thanksgiving where the enemy of our people that the tribe of Gad sought to have peace with, they murdered 700 Pequot Indians, man.
That's right.
700. And you know who helped them? Other Native American tribes.
Right.
Helped our slave master murder their brothers.
Right.
700 brothers they murdered by some Uncle Tomahawk helping Andrew Jackson and the United States Army murder our brothers. And then the rest of the brothers they didn't murder, they sold into slavery.
Right.
They sold them into slavery and sent them where? Where did they send them to? They sent them in slavery to the West Indies to cut sugar cane, to join their brothers, the tribe of Benjamin, in slavery. That's what happened. That's how that National Day of Thanksgiving came about, that you must celebrate every 4th or 3rd Thursday of November.
Right.
That's what you celebrate. the murder of our people, your brothers. So it's only right that the Lord respond and make sure that there's a bunch of damn family shootings every Thanksgiving.
Right.
Since you love a murderer, you love a killer, you love Andrew Jackson, you love America, you salute the flag. That's what this place does. The Lord said this is not your rest. It'll destroy you trying to be an American.
That's right.
Keep going.
That ye may be strong.
That ye may be strong. Think about strong our cities would be if all the brothers and sisters that had might and power and ability and education weren't in America's government building up our slave master.
Right.
Weren't being strong for Donald Trump. If you in America's military, you work for Donald Trump.
That's right.
Donald Trump decides. Donald Trump decides. He speaks for you. He tells the police to kill you.
Right.
He tells the police to put your children in dog cages and kick you out of the country.
That's right.
He speaks, and he speaks against you.
Right.
This is what's happening. Any more on that?
Go
ahead.
And eat the good things of the land.
The good things of the land. Our land has been swallowed up with gentrification because Martin Luther King told us to intermingle.
That's right.
And we did that and lost our businesses, and every Arab, African, and slave master can come from whatever part of the world or country he wants and buy up properties in the black community just like that.
Right.
You want to make money flipping houses in the Norfolk area, in the urban community, after black people's houses get foreclosed, they come and buy it for the property tax, remodel it, and then sell it for a price that you know your children will ever be able to afford to live there.
That's right.
That's what happens. That's why the Lord said, don't join any other people.
That's right.
You understand? This is the reality of what happened to us by Martin Luther King telling us to join other people. You understand? Any more on that?
And that ye may leave the inheritance of the land unto your children.
Your children were supposed to inherit the land, man. Your kids can't inherit your house. The next generation that grew up in integration, all of those children sold everything that their previous generation worked for.
That's right.
Sold BET, sold Jet Magazine, sold Ebony Magazine, sold everything. Every city, every house, every community, all the farmland, all the rural land, all the Big Mama's house, Pop's house, they sold everything.
Right.
And now next generation starts from zero,
That's right.
all over again. Every generation. You go get you a good education and move to the suburbs, and the next generation of children that you have with that good suburban education, where you don't teach about slavery, where they learn that God loves everybody and race doesn't matter, the next generation of your kids is going to sell that house.
That's right.
And you'll be lucky if they let you live with you and not put you in some old folks' home.
Right.
You understand? These are the consequences of joining another people. You understand? This is what you're fighting for. That's American culture. Real estate is big business in America.
That's right.
And most of real estate is selling the land that they've taken back from black people.
Right.
Or the land they stole from Native Americans. You understand?
When nowadays I work hard on the job, till I come cross y'all, still like I'm a criminal. Trying to get caught, it could be your first charge. Like, man, you ain't getting the man tomorrow. It gon' dip, squat, 5 mile run, push, pull, sit on, goddamn, get strong. Looking at my baby, trying to keep them doing wrong. It's too long before they grown, I can't leave them on their own. They killed Day like he had a 30-day case. The news covering up the story, but they say it took me back to the time we lost Otis. Pretending these crackers, they gon' tell you something bogus. And I'm thinking like, damn, what you tellin' kids? We try to put up a fight, but did we fail the kids? Cause they really got us looking like no damn good. And why success got to cost my manhood?